Okay, I think we're live. I hope we were just live now. We won't talk about it, but anyway,
Don't mention it.
it's always good to be in a happy mood, right? And to
Yeah.
start off the day in a happy mood. So happy to be with all of you. Yay! We are back
Yay.
for our breast sleeping Q&A, and I'm here with Rebecca Michi, and we are here back again. And Rebecca, good to see you again.
You too. Yes, it was. I saw you 2 weeks ago in New York, and that was rather fabulous to actually spend some time with you.
It was rather fabulous. And I like the way you say that. I'm going to say that too. It was rather fabulous to be together
It was.
for sure. You sound much better saying that than I do.
I can't help
What
that.
I loved about it was not only seeing you, of course, and being able to hug you in person, because Rebecca and I are on two opposite ends of the country. I'm
Hmm.
here in New Jersey, and she's out in Seattle. And so we got together in New York, and we got to do this breast sleeping Q&A live with everyone in person for the first time, really. And
Yeah.
it was so wonderful. And it was just a continuation of what we're doing here online with all of you guys. So it was great to see people in person. Some of you actually were there who watch us on this live Q&A all the time and then got to come and watch it. It was fantastic. And we were just talking before we went live that we'll be doing this again in Chicago in August. So if anybody's in the Chicago area wants to come see us live, Chicago. I don't know the actual date. It's near
No.
it's the Chicago Baby Show. We'll look it up. All right, we'll look it up for you. Hi everyone. Yeah, everyone's jumping in, and so we have another great Q&A for you today. Obviously, this is my favorite thing to do. Honestly, my favorite way to go live is to sit next to this amazing lady here with me, and to know that there's two topics that are just so important as a new mom, new dads, new parents, or even some experienced and older
Mm.
children.
Yeah.
But there are two topics that really go hand in hand. They go together, and that's breastfeeding and sleeping, and that's what we're covering. And so the conversation of back and forth of being able to bring both together, I think has made a huge difference for a lot of people. And I see that from comments I'm getting in my private group of moms who are watching, who are getting a lot out of my online programs and also Rebecca's Sleep Academy. So just really happy to see all that. And I see Love to Dream in the chat with us. Hello, ladies. And they are our partner sponsor today. I'm so happy to see you guys. And it was great to spend time with you as well. So Love to Dream is in the house. Everyone say hi to Love to Dream, and let's get some hearts going across the screen for one of our favorite partners and one of my favorite products on the planet. I mean, really,
Yeah.
just
Mine too.
one of the best designs. You too, right?
Hmm. Definitely.
Absolutely love it. I was just after the New York Baby Show, I went to Savannah with Love to Dream for the ACNM annual meeting, national meeting, and that's the midwifery conference. So the American College of Nurse Midwives, and I was there with like more midwives than I've ever been with before. I've been to the conference, but I think this was one of their biggest ones. It was amazing, and just to be able to stand there with the Love to Dream product too, and teach about this amazing sleep product and safety product for babies that helps moms and babies. You know, when babies are sleeping better, they're happier. When babies are sleeping better, moms are sleeping better. It helps with everything, right?
Yep. Hmm.
And we also have breast support pillow as well. They're our other partner today. And so we have the breast support pillow, and I'm sure Anita's in the room somewhere here with us. This is the breast support pillow. Just did a giveaway of this last week. And I love the response when people see this for the first time and they're like, oh my God, like, of course.
Yeah.
How genius. It's like this simple little thing and it changes everything. And I've gotten that response. It's a game changer.
Definitely.
Yeah, so fantastic. We have prizes for everyone today. We're going to be giving away two prizes of Love to Dream, your choice of the original or the 50/50, and one breast support pillow. And we also have, Rebecca has a prize for
The Michi Sleep Academy, a 3-month membership for the Michi Sleep Academy. So that is enough time to get all your sleep issues sorted, basically. So I'm giving away sleep. That's exactly what I'm doing. I'm giving away a good night's sleep.
awesome. Can I win? And I
No.
don't even have a baby. Nothing with the baby. Would it help? Maybe it would help. We actually have somebody waiting in the wings to ask a question. So I think we're gonna go ahead and I guess we will it looks dark. The screen looks dark, so I'm not sure if she's there. But Sheena joined the chat. So I guess she wants to ask her question. I'm going to bring her in right now and let her ask her question. Before I do that, one more thing. So today, just like always, we have all these amazing prizes, and we also have links for all the things that we're going to talk about today, including my private Facebook group, which I hope you're all joining. We have, it's up to 1,500 members, and that's just in the last like 2-3 weeks. We've had so many people join, and I am loving the engagement and conversation that's going on. You guys are amazing, amazing, amazing. Just so much great support from all over the world. So I just want to say that. Who's enjoying that? Who's in my group and just like loving watching you're in the group too, I know. Watching all these lovely people just coming in from all over the world and just sharing and supporting each other. And I'm just loving every minute. So the word today is it win, Joe? Yep. The word today is win. Very easy. Okay. So here, I think I actually have it. All right. Here we go. Ready? Technology. Type the word win now. Okay. So you type the word win and you will get a link. You'll get a little instant message from me that will give you the links to win all the prizes today and the links for everything else. Okay. So go ahead and type win. Make sure you're loving this post too. All right. Make sure you love the post and type the word win. So let's get the first question and then we're going to go over the prizes in a minute. So let me try this. I don't know if she's there. Sheena, are you there? Let's see. It looks rather dark. Not sure that she's actually there.
Maybe she's napping.
You think? Maybe she fell asleep? No, she left. Okay. So if anybody wants to win 3 months of Rebecca's Sleep Academy, there is a link here in this post that will let you join the live chat with us. The first one to jump in and ask your question live, meaning like turn on your camera. It will be easy. Just click on the link in the post and join us. We'll win the 3 months of Rebecca's Sleep Academy. Okay, so we're gonna wait and I'll see you there. Just hang on. If you get in, just wait. I can see you and I'll bring you in. Okay. Should we just talk about the prize for a minute? So this is Love to Dream, okay? This is the original Swaddle Up, okay? And this is for allowing your baby to be swaddled in a more natural position with their hands up near their face where they like to have it and where they would naturally do that anyway, versus down towards their body. Babies like to be able to stroke their faces. It helps them to self-soothe. It helps them to chew their hands. It's also a great way when you're breastfeeding to allow you to see those visual cues that tell you that the baby's hungry as well. And when the baby's strapped down and swaddled with their arms in, you can very easily miss those cues of early hunger cues to be able to feed frequently, which is what you want to do when you're breastfeeding. So it's just one of the reasons why I love the Love to Dream, okay? But it also allows for the baby to have that full hip extension so that they're in a more natural position. The legs and the hips are out where they need to be. And as your baby starts to show signs that they're going to roll, somewhere around 3 to 4 months, that can be a little sooner too, you can transition them into the 50-50 where the full wings zip off, and you can do that one at a time, and it allows your baby to transition out of the swaddle into more of a sleep sack with your baby. Okay, so those are the Love to Dream, and they're just absolutely fabulous in both, and they come in different sizes. And so when you type the word win, you're going to be able to later go and learn all about them, but you'll also get the chance to win one here too. And then we have the breast support pillow that I was talking about, and this is the pillow that goes under the breast. Okay, kind of squishes down in a picture. It's always easier with the pictures here. Let me try this. All right, so this is the breast support pillow. Okay, see how it goes under the breast here? To help you hold your breast in the right position for feeding. And that helps with a better latch and position. When the baby's latched properly to the breast, you're going to feel less pain. You're also going to be able to express more milk and get more milk out, just more efficient. The feedings will go quicker. And, it's just, that's the best way to make sure that their feedings are quicker. Your baby's getting more milk out, and that's going to help to maintain your milk supply as well. So a breast support pillow is fantastic. Go ahead and tell me what you love about these throughout the chat today. All right, you can go ahead and post about either of the amazing partners and their prizes. And let's ask a question. Guys, ready? And you guys can also post some stuff here in the chat as well if you have questions for us. Let's do a sleep question. Are you ready, Rebecca?
I am.
Ready. Okay. So, Rebecca, Elizabeth had a question. She said, I have a toddler whom we co-sleep with. We are expecting a baby boy in June. I'm really concerned that having our current little one in the bedroom with our newborn is going to mess up the toddler's sleep schedule. Any suggestions? We have put a toddler bed in our room, in our bedroom. Mm-hmm. We're also trying to avoid any big changes with the baby around the corner.
Yes. Okay. Great question. So this is really quite common. It really, really is. Either having a toddler in your room or in your bed, baby's coming along, and you're sort of thinking logistics. Not only where is everybody going to sleep, but how is everybody going to sleep? Now, when toddlers are in their deep sleep, it is quite a deep sleep, and it can take a lot to rouse them up into that light sleep and wake them up. So don't think that you have to suddenly have your toddler in another room for your toddler to continue to sleep well. Chances are that's going to have the exact opposite effect of what you want, because one, you're moving their room, moving where they're sleeping, and two, you've just got a new baby arrived, and both of those things are enough to disturb their sleep. So don't sort of add, something else there. I would just keep your toddler in your bed, or encourage them to be in their toddler bed, but then they may come into your bed. Some things that you want to be mindful of: you shouldn't have your infant and the toddler in bed together alone, just because of safety's sake. The connection that you have with your infant when you're sleeping together is very unique to a mother and a breastfeeding mother and an infant, and your toddler is just going to be kind of, starfishing in the bed and rolling around, and it's just not safe for your infant and for your toddler to be in bed together. Mm-hmm. If you are going to all be in bed together in the family bed, you want to make sure that your toddler is not next to the infant at all. So you would have, what I would do is I would have either a bed rail or the bed up against a wall, and I would then make sure there's zero gap whatsoever. And oftentimes families will actually just have the mattress on the floor, because you're less likely to have any gaps there. Shoving that up into a corner of the room, you've got zero gap there. And then you will have wall, then you'll have infant, and then you'll have you, and then either your partner or toddler, and then your partner or toddler the other side. So then everybody's in the bed, but you're then going to be facing the infant, and mothers will kind of just sort of cocoon the infant, and that will keep your infant safer than if they were next to the toddler. So just be mindful of that. You could as well also use a bassinet or a co-sleeper and have the infant in there. Again, you would want to make sure that you are between the toddler and your infant, just again for safety's sake. But I wouldn't make these huge big changes. You could maybe have your toddler start the night in the toddler bed, but just go for kind of safe ease. That's what I would say. So ease of sleep for everybody, making this as easy as possible, but really, really make sure that it's safe. A lot of times we sort of plan on where, especially before we actually give birth, we plan on what's going to actually happen, that my baby is going to sleep in the bassinet or they're going to sleep in the crib, and this is just where they're going to sleep, and it's going to work out perfectly. Inevitably, it doesn't.
Plans, right?
Yeah, inevitably, it doesn't work out perfectly. And so you really want to make sure that any area that you could fall asleep with your child is safe. So don't be doing night feeds like on a couch or on a chair if you're likely to fall asleep, because that's very, very unsafe. Make sure that your bed is safe. And that means that you're looking at covers, you're looking at pillows, you're looking at the surface that we don't want a Tempur-Pedic memory foam mattress or mattress topper. That's not safe. So making sure just that the space is safe, because even if you don't plan on having your child in bed with you, it may happen. And if it does happen, you would want that to be in a safe place rather than just saying it's not going to happen. When we're sleep deprived, we fall asleep kind of at the drop of a hat, just like that. You can just be sort of close your eyes, just go close my eyes. You blink and you're asleep when you have a newborn. And so you just want to make sure that that space is really, really safe for both the toddler and the infant.
Yeah. I was wondering too, because as you were saying all that about making changes, it seems like maybe during pregnancy might be a better time to make changes than right after. So there seems like a window where you wouldn't want to do a lot. And that was for me. I know you and I have children around the same ages and close together. But I know that when I was pregnant with Jade, was when I started to make some of the shifts about who would wake up with her, versus waiting till Talia was born, and understanding that then they can sometimes think that the baby's the cause.
Exactly.
Relate to it that way.
Yeah, it definitely, especially if it comes to where your child is sleeping, where the toddler is sleeping. If suddenly we are going to be throwing your toddler out of wherever that was and having a baby sleep, the infant sleep there, then your toddler is just going to naturally think that they've been thrown out of there for the toddler, for the infant. So I like to have a gap, and as much of a gap as you can possibly get, even kind of dismantling something and then building it again. So just your child is sort of we want them to forget as much as possible about where that was, so that when then the infant is sleeping there, it's not like, whoa, hang on, that's my bed.
Exactly.
In my bed.
Well, that's what I remember doing is she was sleeping in a crib, and we transitioned her into a bed. They're 2 years and 4 months apart. She transitioned into a bed out of the crib before I had my second, while I was pregnant. More just out of, I knew that was, and not only was she transitioning to a bed, she was moving into a different room. So that we were changing her room into the big girl room and letting her pick out the color of the paint and then her new bed, and not having that associated with the baby being born. It was already done. It was over and done.
Yeah, definitely. Because we know that your child is going to regress when a baby comes along. They just are. And they're not just going to regress in sleep, but many, many things they're going to regress in. And it's a really hard time for families. Introducing a new baby is, whether it's your second child or it's your seventh child, it's hard. It's a hard adjustment for the whole family. And so you want to make that adjustment as easy as possible, especially when it comes to sleep, because sleep-deprived toddlers are not sort of, are not rational. Toddlers are barely rational as it is, and then add some sleep deprivation there, and that just makes life so much harder. So we want to try and keep the sleep as best and as easy as possible. Then when we are going to get these little regressions, we are going to take a few steps back, but it's going to be easier than if you're doing so many things, you're going to get a bigger regression.
Totally. As we're talking about siblings, and I know there are a lot of you out there right now who have your toddler and you're expecting, or you're planning to have another. There's an entire episode that I did a couple years ago about siblings and about introducing the new baby to the sibling. And it's a great episode with Tammy. Tammy Gold. She's a parenting coach. She's really great. She's been on a few times with me, but she did this great episode with me. It's in the library. So if you're part of my private group and part of the My Baby Experts, you can go to the files. I don't know if you guys know that, but if you go to the files and you look up the full episodes, you go through the whole list of 140 episodes and topics. And one of them is introducing the new baby to an older big brother or sister, and just more than just sleep, but all kinds of things and amazing tips on what to do, and how to introduce them, and what are some of the things that I hadn't thought of that were just really great advice.
It's a lot of logistics, isn't it? It's you don't necessarily think of. Like, what's your toddler going to do when you're feeding? When you're feeding the infant, what's your toddler going to be doing?
Exactly.
You don't want them getting hold of a Sharpie and in the bedroom.
Yeah, that's true. We have a couple people waiting in the chat room right now. I have Joanna, who's been sitting here waiting patiently through this last question. First of all, let's get some hearts for Rebecca and for Elizabeth's question. Thanks for asking it, Elizabeth. And thank you, Rebecca, for answering it. That was great. And it brings up a great topic that maybe we'll do a little bit more, maybe a little more focused show Rebecca and I will do together on sleep and the second baby, the whole idea of infant and toddler, and we'll do sleep and breastfeeding for both. Okay. Do you guys like that idea? Because I'm sitting here going, that's a good topic. That's a really good topic. And it'll be great for anyone who's planning another or just had another or is about to have, which is probably most of you here. So pretty much everybody here. Okay, so if you like that idea, let's get some hearts. Okay, let's get Joanna in here because she's been waiting. Joanna, get ready. I'm bringing you on here. All right, sweetheart, here we go. Hi.
I'm Joanna, and this is Angelo.
Hi, how are you? Look how beautiful he is.
Oh my gosh.
We are good so far, but my problem is in a week I'm going back to work, and I work at the hospital 12-hour shifts, days and nights. It's gonna be part-time, and I don't know how to really leave him. He's breastfed and very close to me. We are only together for those 12 months. And he's still nursing about, I would say, 8 times a day and consistently in a night. 2 times a night, I'm trying to put him away to crib, but then I'm so tired and he's ending up sleeping with me. He doesn't accept any bottle or pacifiers. He's drinking through sippy cups, but just getting few sips. He doesn't really like it. And I'm so worried to leave him with my husband once I'm going to go back to work.
Right.
I just don't know how to kind of not quit the connection, but what to do to make him be able to stay away from me.
Yeah.
That's a great question. When do you go back to work?
It's in a week, actually.
Okay.
It's my orientation day.
You'll be gone for 12-hour shifts?
My first day, it's actually 8 hours, but then every other day, it's about 2 times a week. It's going to be 12 hours.
And are you pumping now?
I'm trying to, first of all, he's nursing almost from one side. That's what he actually learned, and also did my first baby. I've been nursing her for 2 years.
Yes.
So I have much more milk on one side, and I try to pump right after, but just because he's drinking so frequently, I have not much to pump out.
Gotcha.
I know he's getting a lot of milk, but he's constantly drinking before going on nap, waking up, after every meal. He's basically snacking all the time.
Yeah. And how is he eating well? Other foods? Does he eat?
I'm giving him solids about 5 times a day. But
great.
Getting only little. I guess that's because he drinks that much milk.
Of course.
But he's not great on eating solids. He's gonna take few spoons and he doesn't want any more.
Which is fine. I mean, he getting most of his nutrition from you right now is absolutely perfect. And the fact that you're able to wait for an entire year. Where are you? I just wanted to find out.
What do you mean?
Are you in the US? Are you outside the US?
No, in Canada.
In Canada, okay. Yeah, because you get a little bit of a longer maternity leave than some of the ladies in the US.
Just a little bit. It's too short anyway.
Yeah, it's too short anyway. And a lot of people here would say, 12 months would be so great. But it's hard no matter when you leave. And I totally understand the question you're asking. One of the things that happens, Joanna, is that when the baby sees you and is with you, he's doing what he should do, which is want to eat from you. Right. But he's also able to adapt pretty quickly while you're gone to being with your husband and especially at 12 months, they are able to change their patterns and their habits. I hate to even call it a habit, just their routines. They're able to change their routines very quickly. It's like you're going to think about it way longer than he probably will. Within a day or two, he'll forget what the routine was and he's on to the next routine. And so really it's just about setting up the whole day and setting up your process. And what I would say is that because you nurse so frequently, it's really important that you empty the breast while you're at work. I'm more concerned about you right now being gone for 8 or 12 hours at a time when you're not used to pumping versus whether he's going to be able to eat enough. He will eat more food as he's hungrier. So if he was to, let's say this, even if you were gone for 8 hours and he did all his nursing just when you're home, and while you were gone, all he did was eat solid foods, he'd be fine. Okay. So do
you think I should leave as much milk as I can then?
It's not as much as you can. And so are you in my group? Are you in my private group?
I actually signed up today.
Oh, good. Okay, great. So you'll make sure that you go and you watch. There's a class and it's free for all of you right now. It's called Breast Pumps and Briefcases, and it really helps you to get prepared to go back to work, and how much should I leave them, and do I need to pump a lot out, and how do I prepare for the first day, and how much does a baby eat? All those things are covered in the course, and it's a good course. I would go do that. I go watch that. But remember that, especially with a 12-month-old, you don't need to have like a whole freezer stash of milk, and you don't need as much as you can. What I would say is, when are you going back?
When I'm going in a week.
In a week. Okay. So typically it's better to give yourself a little more time for planning. But in your case, what I would do is start today. Mm-hmm. Okay. And try to pump a little bit right at the beginning of every feeding, because it's going to be the easiest way to get the milk out. And when I say a little bit, even like an ounce or two between in the beginning, or an ounce before every feeding, see how much. Sometimes in the morning you can get more out than in the afternoon or evening. But try to pump a little bit where you're only getting a little each day, and accumulate that from now till you go back. You might only need maybe 8 ounces total for the whole time you're gone. That's 2 full feedings. The baby will probably eat about a 3 or 4 ounce bottle. That's or not bottle, but in a cup. That would even be a lot. I'd be surprised if he drinks all that even on the first day. Okay? Just to have something to leave for him.
Okay.
All right, that would literally be 1 ounce per day from now till the day you go back. That's not a lot.
Yes.
Okay. Then while you're at work, you will pump. And so you'll take a break 3-4 hours into the shift. You'll pump and you'll get out some milk that you will be able to use for the next day. You don't need to have all this milk stashed away just to go back.
That's true. But what would you think about the nighttime? Should I limit his feeding? So
I think you're going to see the opposite. Honestly, I think you're going to see the opposite happening. That even though he's waking, expect that he may wake even more once you start going back to work. That's very, very normal, and for 2 reasons. And Rebecca can talk to this as well. But one reason is that he may not drink a lot while you're gone. He may protest. This is okay. Like I said, offer him the solids, offer him the cup, have some milk available for him. You could even give him a little bit of water just to stay hydrated. He's 12 months old. Okay. So those things are fine. And just expect that he'll try to make up for all of that first night you're home. 1, for the amount of milk that he wants, and 2, because the amount of mommy time he's going to want. He's going to miss you. He's going to miss you. And so typically they wake up more frequently, and then that can change as well. But
I'm just so afraid that I'm going to leave him for a night as well, because I have some night shifts, and then the whole drama will start. I have no idea how my husband can really calm him down, because sometimes now we are trying, when he's waking up, my husband goes and pick him up, and he will consistently cry for an hour till he gets me finally, because it's just...
I just find that it changes when the routine changes,
Well, it changes if he knows that you're not there. Exactly. If he knows that you're there, then he's going to behave very, very differently than if he knows that you're not there. Even at this age, even much younger, we see this. So if you want to have a bit of a trial run with this, what I would suggest that you do is leave the house, go and get a manicure or something, or go to the bookstore, or go to the bar, whatever you want. Do that at the beginning of the night, at bedtime. And so your husband then has to get him down at the beginning of the night. You can see if you've got some milk, not a problem. If you've not, don't worry. I would just sort of give a big feed before you leave. Make sure that they wave you off at the door so that he knows that you've gone. And then just let them get on with it. Honestly, just let them get on with it. They will figure it out. It's not going to be as terrifying as you think, because you're not there. And when you're not there, he's just going to be like, well, she's not here. Honestly, I really wouldn't worry too much. But if you really want to have that trial run, it doesn't mean you have to be away for the entire night, just the beginning part of the night. Then it doesn't mean he's going to go down super easy and he's going to go down in a matter of minutes and sleep the entire night. That's not necessarily going to happen, but it may just be a little bit helpful for your husband as well, just to have that little bit of time just to sort of try and sort of figure things out. That could really make a difference. But honestly, I wouldn't worry at all. I don't think that you're worried about how your husband's going to be able to soothe him. I don't think it's going to be that much of an issue. They're going to figure out their thing, and it's probably going to be very, very different from what you do, but that's fine. It will then change from when you're at work and when you're not. So when you're at work, you may find that he sleeps well, and when you're not, that he's going to be needing to nurse a lot more. Just bring him in bed with you. Just let him nurse a lot more, just so that he's getting that milk, but two, he's then getting that touch. I call it filling up the touch tank, and that it's just that he's getting that one-on-one time with you, even if when you're both sleeping. Then that's going to mean that he's actually going to get longer stretches of sleep.
Yeah, there's actually an entire chapter in the Breast Pumps and Briefcases program about returning and giving yourself almost a week before you actually go back to even test out your daycare. Like bringing the baby to daycare, getting the whole routine started before you actually go back. So I love Rebecca's suggestions to you. Like, don't wait for your first day gone, which is really hard because you're like savoring every last minute. I get it, but it's really hard to not be distracted. You're back at work, stressing over this is the first day. Give yourself a day or two at the minimum. I recommend a week when moms are going back like full time, to just start daycare where you can just go out, and if you have to like cry because you feel sad or you feel whatever emotions might come up. You know what I mean? We get it. I felt like that too. We all feel like that leaving. So I would say maybe don't wait till your first day back to do that. I mean, that's usually what I recommend, and it's discussed at length in my program because it is something that we all go through. It's stressful, not just for the baby, but for you too. I recommend you start earlier.
Okay.
If you can get yourself to do it. It's one of the hardest, but I've had feedback, so much feedback from the moms that I work with, and they're like, I'm so glad you suggested that because it was a really hard day, and I don't think I would have been able to concentrate on my work, and it was good to be able to give myself the space and think of all and figure out all the things that I couldn't plan for till I was actually gone, but then it was actually workable because I wasn't trying to focus on doing my job.
Okay,
And
so you're
schedule
saying,
something.
yeah,
Because if you're going to schedule something that that evening, you're going to go out with friends, or you've got something booked, like a massage, that you're not then going to miss. Because if you're sort of thinking that, well, I'm just going to I'm just going to go to the supermarket. No, don't just go to the supermarket. Make the most of this. Have something planned, something scheduled. Because if it's just going to the supermarket, you're going to bail. You're not going to go to the supermarket. But if you're meeting friends, you will go, and it means then it's easier for you to go.
I can see on your face, Joanna. I hope that these tips help you to give you the logistical information, but the emotional side of this, of leaving your baby, there's nothing I can do to make that easier.
But at least you gave me that hope that it's possible and he will be fine.
He will be. I'm more worried about you. Honestly, I'm more worried about you and the emotions of it, and that it will take you longer to feel that separation, and also your milk, your breasts, all of it. I'm literally more worried about you making sure you're taking care of yourself. I think he's going to be totally fine.
Okay.
Yeah. And it gives you an opportunity to think of yourself as well right now too. And the fact that he's going to be with your husband, that's right there is such a huge bonus, versus having to go into daycare and you're just using for the first time. You don't know who it is. And so at least he's with, aw, she's so cute. Yeah. She's like, it's okay, Mama.
Oh,
it's okay. It's going to be okay. I'm glad that you joined the group today. There's so many moms in there to support you, and me, and Rebecca's there, and you actually are the winner of the 3-month Sleep Academy too by joining us first. So, yay! Let's give hearts for Joanna and lots of love and hugs for her first day back in a week. Are you a nurse?
Sorry?
Are you a nurse?
Yes, I am.
You are.
And I'm working actually on postpartum floor.
Oh, that's great. Okay, well, you need to watch all this information. You need to watch all this information, all of my classes, so you could pass all this good information out to the moms.
I always love to learn new stuff, and I always enjoy that topic, so I have never enough.
Fantastic.
Yes. So
We are very happy to have you with us. Very
thank you so
happy. And
much.
so nice to meet you in person. See, this is what everybody needs to be doing. I want everyone in the group at one point to be jumping into these live streams so that we can talk to you. We're going to be starting to do these Q&As within the group, right there in the group, a little more private. And I want you all jumping in with me. I think Be Live allows for like 4 or 5 people now. So we can do like little group chats, right? We're going to do
All
that.
right.
All right. Sounds good. Please keep us updated on how you're doing, okay?
I will. Thank you.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. All right. Awesome. Oh, it's so good to see people in person, right? And she's going to do so great. She doesn't realize that it's going to be harder on her, right, than anyone else.
Totally. Yeah.
It really is. I was, because I'm not using my headset today, I shouldn't even say it because I don't hear an echo. I'm doing all right. You know that. Joe just started laughing because he knows I just totally jinxed myself, right? Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry, shouldn't have said it. Sometimes there's no like filter from the brain to the mouth. Sometimes.
Yeah, no, I heard that earlier.
Sometimes, yeah. Yes, you did. Okay, let's change the subject. All right, so I'm actually going to show you a little quick video that I haven't been able to show you for the Love to Dream because it's a side-by-side swaddle video that I love. And I want you guys to see this because the Love to Dream, the Swaddle Up, and the 50-50, these are our 2 prizes and 2 of our prizes today. I want to show you this cute video they have. Hold on one second. I'm going to play it for you. Did it shut off? All right, we got as much as we could get. That was better than normal.
One thing about that video, it shows you about the ease of getting the child into the swaddle, which it's so easy to do.
Yeah.
But now that we're heading into summer, and you think of how many layers were on the other child who was swaddled even though that was just like a thin sheet, it was at least 3 layers on there, at least compared to just the one in the Love to Dream. Yep. So we really, really need to be thinking of that as we're heading into the summer months, because not all of us live in an area where you have air conditioning, i.e. me. I do not have air conditioning. And because we have like a week where it's uncomfortable, we don't need air conditioning. But that week is really, really uncomfortable. And I'm sure there's a lot of people in the world who live in areas where you have like a week or 2 of super uncomfort at night. And I hear so often from families local to me here in Seattle who are saying, I can't now swaddle my child because some of the swaddles are just, they are just a burritoing up your child. And I can't swaddle them now. And now suddenly they're going from being swaddled really tight as a burrito, where they can't any longer have that. And now they're just like wearing like a onesie or something, or even just a diaper. And now nobody's sleeping, one, because it's hot and it's uncomfortable. But then now suddenly we have a child who's just doesn't have any layers. So that's going to be uncomfortable. Now they're hitting themselves in the face throughout the entire night. Totally. That's going to keep them awake. So really, I think as we're heading into summer, something we really, really want to think about is the comfort of your child, because you don't want your child overheating. That's a really, really dangerous thing. And even, just there's so many layers. It's just kind of uncomfortable. It really, really is. So Love to Dream is perfect for the summer as we're heading into the summer months.
Yeah, no, such a good point. The fact that the arms are up, but there's still tension, This is why do we swaddle in the first place? The swaddle, babies have something called a Moro reflex, and it's that startle reflex that that they can't help it. They can't control it. It's part of it's just an immaturity of the brain, and also just a newborn reflex for they will grow out of. But in the beginning, what triggers it is actually the head laying back down. So you can imagine that's perfect for the baby falls asleep and you go to lay them down. How many of you have had this happen to you, right? You go to lay the baby down, and as soon as they lay down, they startle. Or you go to put them down on the changing table to change their diaper, and they startle and they wake themselves up. This still creates that tension so they don't have that startle, but allows them, and you even saw it in the video when the baby was finished and into the Love to Dream swaddle, they could still chew their hands. So you really want to try to suppress that Moro reflex. It's why babies love to be swaddled. It's a more natural position like they were in the womb.
Yeah.
Their hands are up here while they're in the womb.
Totally. And as well, the Love to Dream is much, much easier to transition from than a traditional swaddle. As you can imagine, from going from arms pinned down to the body, to try to transition out of that to now being in that more natural position with arms up. If your child has only ever slept with that for 3 months, their entire sort of life on the outside has been sleeping with their arms pinned down. Yes. Trying to then get up to here where they're more natural and they want to sleep is really, really hard. So actually starting out with them like this, and then you've got the 50-50, and then they're still going to be able to sleep in this position. They just have more range of movement. It's so much easier to do. And oftentimes I'll advise families that have gone from arms pinned down to the sides to actually, that's the first way of transitioning out of the swaddle, is to get the 50-50, get them used to sleeping up like this with their arms in, and then unzipping and having the arms out.
Totally. Oh, we love it. Yes. And if you joined us late, you just have to type the word win here in the comments. Okay. And you should get a little message from me that you actually have to repeat again and say win when later in the messenger. It'll send you links to everything so you can enter to win. You'll get all the links for Rebecca's Academy, for my private group. And if that's not working for you, because sometimes Facebook is just Facebook, there's a link here in the post that will take you to the same thing. You'll do it after. No one's going to miss out. I want to answer a breastfeeding question. And I'm going to, let's see, here it is. This came from Amy, and Amy's in our private group. And she wrote, my baby girl is 3 months old. We have struggled with and through tongue and lip tie. She only weighs 10.5 pounds. Our doctor suggested we work with WIC to get the fat content of my milk up. But I'm wondering if she just isn't gaining quickly because she is still lip tied. Just looking for a second opinion on the matter, as well as some suggestions as to what I can do to follow her recommendations. I'm also wondering how much she should be weighing at this time we are exclusively breastfeeding. So there's a few things to address here. We've got all kinds of issues going on, tongue and lip ties. And when you say we've struggled through and with tongue and lip ties, I'm wondering if it's been revised. I mean, if you know this is the issue, and you know that the doctor is now telling you like there's not enough waking, and if you're seeing an issue and you're not doing something about it, yes, this could very much be the issue why the baby's gaining so slowly. That being said, babies do grow at their own pace. And so without knowing what her birth weight was, how her weight's been going, how long, how much is she gaining per week or per month, excuse me, it's hard for me to answer the question about whether or not she's at an appropriate weight. Quite often the pediatricians require the baby to be gaining faster than they need to or more than they need to, looking at a chart instead of looking at your baby's independent, where they are in their milestones. Are they developmentally normal for their age? Are they progressing adequately? Are they gaining anything? Are they losing or just staying the same? 10.5 pounds might be totally fine for a 3-month-old.
That was for my daughter.
Exactly. That's what I was going to say. So without some more answers here, it's hard to give Amy the actual answer of what she needs to do. But the suggestion from your ped about working with someone to get the fat content of your milk up, that's not possible. Okay, so I just want to say that like you cannot change the fat content of your milk. You cannot just eat more fat and therefore have more milk or more fat in your milk. It doesn't work that way. The fat content of your milk is affected and impacted based on the time of day. It's impacted by how much supply you have. So if you're very oversupplied and because sometimes it's not about an undersupply or about not having enough volume of milk. It could be that the milk is not high fat because you have too much. So it could be many things happening, but just to answer the question, you cannot work to get the fat content of your milk up. What you could do is stick to one side longer at a feeding. That will help to give the baby more fatty milk. Okay, that means that you are going to breastfeed on one side, completely try to drain the one side before switching. You're not going to be timing that feeding. You're just going to allow the baby to nurse on one side till you're not hearing audible frequent swallows anymore. I would also recommend that while you're breastfeeding, especially towards the end of that feeding on that breast, doing some hand compression. Okay, and that's sort of like using your hand far back. Don't interfere with the nipple, but towards the back, you're gently compressing and massaging the breast while the baby's eating. That will help to get more of the milk out. I had to take a drink. Hold on one second.
And that's easier to do if you have the breast support pillow.
It sure is.
Yeah, you're then not having to hold your boob, and so you can then do the massage.
Yeah, and that's what we're talking about, that breast support pillow here. Somebody asked before if it comes in different sizes. It sure does. Well, what good would one size breast pillow be for one breast, right? Okay, so it does come in 4 sizes, and you can see they're very different. Okay, and one thing I want to say about that, it's important to order the right one, and then to understand that as you continue to feed and you get deeper into your nursing journey, you may need to change size, whether it's your breast pillow, okay, your bras, or the flanges on your pump. All these things change as the breast is changing shape and size and consistency from very full to maybe more pliable, okay, which happens and typically can happen around 6 months. You'll start to see a big shift. I used to have a store in New Jersey, and we used to sell, and I used to fit bras, and some of the people here are like, I spent hours in the bra fitting room with you fitting nursing bras. It's actually one of my specialties. We're going to do more on that because bras are a hard thing. Who'd like to hear more about nursing bras and how to fit your bra properly? Because that's something I want to do with you guys. But you know, when you hit around the 6-month mark and the baby starts to transition into eating some complementary foods, solid foods, along with breastfeeding, the breast can shrink a lot because that second half of the year, you're actually making less milk than in the first half. The baby's not eating larger amounts of quantity per feeding, but maybe eating less frequently. Or you're also combining that with the solid food, so they could be eating less. So yes, you do need to change sizes and make sure don't go by your cup size. On the link that we have for the breast support pillow, it does allow for looking at the cup size, but it also gives you a measurement. I would prefer if you go by measuring, because what your cup size actually is may be very different than what you think it is, and then you'll wind up buying the wrong size. So follow the measurement guide on ordering your breast support pillow versus just saying, oh, I'm a C cup or I'm a D cup. Measure it. Okay, measure it. But yes, and then there was one other question about the breast support pillow. She was just surprised that, yes, it would be helpful in getting more milk out. Like Rebecca just said, which was brilliant, like being able to do that hand compression, it frees up your hand. For so many moms, they have to hold their breast for the whole feeding. But if the breast support pillow was underneath and you could massage and get around the breast while the baby's eating, you could get more of that hind milk out that we're talking about, more fatty milk, help the baby to gain a little bit more. And also if you're having any issues with plug ducts, it's easier to massage that area while the baby's feeding. It helps to release those plugs or those clogs where the milk is not releasing out. Stephanie said, yes, a bra fitting would be a great refresher. Okay, we're going to schedule that in. I have a really good one. I'm going to do that with you guys. Okay, some bra fitting tips. We're going to schedule that out. One other thing I was thinking about in this question with Amy, wondering how much she should be weighing at this time. Let's talk for a minute. Instead of how much she should be weighing, what would we expect to see in weight gain in a breastfed baby typically? All right, because I think we go over this often through our Q&As, Rebecca. It's just one of those things that needs to come up because of the rigidness of so many practitioners and following charts and just trying to compare breastfed babies to formula-fed babies, that you just really can't compare the two. It's different. Babies go through growth spurts through their breastfeeding year or 2 years or 3 years, whatever it's going to be, but especially in the beginning. And those growth spurts, they'll grow a lot in 1 week. And they're hungry and you feel empty and they're just back at the breast every hour and you're like, oh my gosh, I have no milk. And it's not that. It's a growth spurt, and and one that's happening. You would expect to see a rebound from that with more weight gain. But on the weeks where you're kind of moving along, you might see less weight gain. And that's why it's important not to weigh your baby every single week. Unless you're having some major issue, weighing the baby weekly will only set you up for issues. That's my opinion. You're watching the baby's wet diapers, your poop diapers, is the baby sleeping in between feedings and not crying and hunger all the time? And as long as the baby is hydrated and doing well, weighing the baby every week is not a good idea. After a month, put that baby on a scale. And if the baby gains somewhere between 4 to about 8 ounces a week on average, okay, what I mean by that is you figure out what that whole weight gain was for the month, divide that by the number of weeks, and on average, was it somewhere between 4 to 8 ounces? That's normal, okay? If it was 3, it's still not a reason to start supplementation. It's a reason to think, oh, well, maybe something's going on. Maybe I need to do my feedings a little more frequently. Maybe I'm missing those feeding cues. Maybe I should be getting up at that night feeding when the baby wants to eat. Maybe I'm using that pacifier a little bit too soon. Okay, but it's still not a reason to supplement. And I'm glad you guys are here with us so that we can address some of those questions, especially in the private group. Go ahead and post them. Everybody will answer you. And believe me, I am reading all of your questions. I am reading all the answers that are being given. A lot of times I'm not jumping in because we have such a smart community. They're all answering. And when I need to, I promise you I will. And we will do more Q&As there. Sheena is jumped back in. I can see her here. So I think she's ready. I'm going to bring her in for to ask her question because I know she's been trying pretty much the whole time. So she gets an A+ for persistence here. We're going to bring her into the chat right now. Here you go, Sheena. Hold on. Hi there.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Oh, good.
Oh, good to see you. I know you've been trying to get in. Thanks for waiting for us.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. How old is your baby?
9.5 months.
9.5, and she's beautiful.
Oh,
Beautiful. So what is your question for us?
She is still, I'm still nursing her, and she's doing well with that. It's okay. And, but maybe a few months ago, she started biting a little bit. Mm-hmm. And she doesn't do it all the time. I would kind of, I guess, pull her away or stop her as soon as she does, but then she doesn't want to nurse after that. And then after that, I end up just having to just pump. She wouldn't want to nurse for like the rest of the day after kind of me yelling at her for biting me. Yeah. She's better about it now. It only happens maybe once a month, if that. But are there any tips or suggestions you have for biting?
Yeah, I do. It's one of the most common questions that comes up, because it's actually part of the normal process of breastfeeding, and sometimes they bite. I would recommend against screaming or yelling. I know it's hard because it hurts and
it's really hard to do.
It just happens. But
especially that first time.
I think totally. And if it does happen, then immediately give her some affection and make sure she understands that you weren't yelling at her, but that it actually hurt mommy. And even at this age, they can understand that hurts. Mm-hmm. That hurts. But typically babies around this age, they're very distracted too. So there's several things happening. One is that they're starting their teething. They're looking to bite down on things. She may be drooling a lot. And so she doesn't know that she shouldn't necessarily do it there. And she can't help herself. Her mouth hurts. So she might be biting because of that. The other thing too is that, and I think this was a question from somebody else with a baby around the same age, where the baby keeps pulling off and her nipples are killing her because the baby will get on and then pull off and then get on and pull off. I remember that too, where they're nursing and then it's like, the niplash where they're just kind of.
Yeah, she did that when she was really young. Luckily, she doesn't do it anymore.
Very common, especially around this. They're very curious, right now. She's just distracted. So one thing I would recommend is trying to when you nurse her, try to do it in more of a dark or a private place where she doesn't have a lot of distraction.
Yeah.
When hold her closer to the breast, we can get a little lazier with our latch as they get a little older because your nipples are used to it. You're not so focused like when she was a newborn and you were like really like trying to get the perfect latch. Right now, you're just kind of like, boom, put her on. But that, of course, right? But when you do that, she can have her mouth towards the tip of the nipple and very quickly she comes off and it's down and she's clamping down. So holding her closer, being a little bit more aware, watching her for when she's really finished with the feeding. And that can happen quickly. Like all of a sudden she's actually done feeding, but she's still hanging and she wants to keep on sucking. But it's then when the biting happens.
Okay.
All right. So like watching her and then when you see the feeding's kind of done, take her off.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. And make sure you give her something to bite on.
Oh, I do.
Okay, so like she has something, an alternative, and even having it nearby when she's nursing so that if you see that she's starting to go into that, you hand it to her and give it to her, put it in her mouth to start chewing on. So she starts to understand. Babies are so smart and they do get it. They do get it. Human babies, even before they can even talk, they can understand for way before they can verbalize a word. And I think we forget that because they're not speaking to us. So we think they don't understand what we're saying. They do.
Yeah.
They do. They understand. They're very smart. And so, just kind of telling her what that it hurts, explaining to her, no, dude, don't do that to mommy. Ouchie, giving her something, you chew on this, those are ways to prevent the biting and holding her closer. When the mouth is really, really close to the breast, it almost can't close.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like when she's really pulled in, she's stuck with her mouth kind of wide open. She can't, it's only when she comes to the tip of the nipple that she can close her mouth.
Yeah. Yeah. I think she, like lately, like within this last month, I noticed that she started doing it when I'm empty on that side. So
yeah. Totally. So switching sides, again, that goes right back to like paying attention when the feeding's actually finished. You're not hearing swallows. It's more like the breast is empty and you're done. And I see here, Teresa just commented, she said, I'm going to do something fun. Here, watch this. So Teresa said, I used to wear a nursing necklace. Okay, my son would chew on that instead of my boob. Best thing I bought. I was going to offer you that too. Two reasons. One, it's great for them. You have it right there. You can substitute it in quickly. They can chew on it. It's not falling on the floor, all that. But also part of what I described of the distraction or keeping her focused in the direction towards you instead of away. Nursing necklaces can really help with that too, because they like to twiddle and they like to play and they like to do all these things and when they're nursing. So keep her from everything else, right?
Yeah.
You're doing so great. You're so great. Are you in our private? Are you my private group? The private Facebook group that we have?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay, the My Baby Experts community.
Oh, maybe.
Maybe not. Okay. If anybody is not already signed up or joined our private group, please come join us. All right. Because Rebecca's in there with me. We have some really great stuff going on as far as places to post your questions. Everybody's answering so much great advice. And we're going to be starting some of these Q&As like we're doing right now within the private group. So make sure that you joined, and you also have access to my entire library too. So. All right. Yeah, I'm so glad that you stuck with it, Sheena. Sheena, where are you in the world right now?
I'm in San Francisco.
In San Francisco. Yeah. Awesome. It looks sunny there. It's not sunny here in New Jersey.
No, nor in Seattle, shockingly.
Oh.
It was great to meet you. Great to meet you. Make sure you type win or go to the link. You'll get access to the group and to the prizes today and to also to Rebecca's Academy, okay?
Okay, will do.
All
Thank you.
right. Bye. Take care.
Bye.
Oh, that's so fun. What a cutie, right?
Yeah. Super.
She's pretty active. She's cute. And that's a question that biting question just comes up so often.
Yep.
It's such a, it's so normal, but it is important to just try to not stop yourself from nursing just because it's happening. This might just be a transient thing that happens once or twice or for a few days, and then they stop. And I've had some commenting going on in the group recently, mom's afraid, like this is coming. Should I stop nursing? Absolutely not. And I love the answers that she got, which were like, no, it was fine. Did it once, never did it again. Of course, all babies are different.
Yeah.
One thing I did not get to show you was my burping video. And I am going to skip that today, okay, because we are actually at the end here. But I want to make sure that I will post it into the group because it was something that I wanted to share with all of you. The whole question with the lip and tongue tie, there were other questions about reflux and other things we didn't get to. Maybe we'll jump back in sometime in the next week into the private group and answer some of these questions if Rebecca's game to do them with me.
Yep.
We'll let you know, but I will go ahead and post the burping video if you haven't seen it. And for anybody who's in the group, make sure you go over to the files. That's where you'll find all those videos, because somebody asked about my 3-stage pumping and where is it? And I know it's a little confusing. We are going to be building a whole new beautiful platform for all of you so that everything is going to be very easy to access, all right? So hang on for that. I am working hard to get that done, all right? Rebecca knows I'm working hard on that. Thank you, Rebecca, once again.
Thank you.
See your face.
Yes, you too.
And thank you to Love to Dream. And thank you to Breast Support Pillow for always just making these educational sessions possible, and all the education, and being the best partners and making the best products. And everybody who knows me knows I only work with brands and companies that I love, not only the people, but the products. I would only recommend things that I would use with my own babies. So that's that. All right. So I will see you all soon. Have a wonderful, lovely weekend, and we will be back. Okay. Love you guys. Have a good one.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.